welcome back to the Isle of Man TT 2024. Officially, it's day 6 of race week, although we've only seen 4 races so far due to the inclement weather, but it's definitely been a case of quality rather than quantity. Michael Dunlop making history not once but twice, equaling and then passing his Uncle Joey's all-time win record. We're playing catch-up today, and we'll have Sidecar Race 2 to look forward to later on as the Crow brothers look to build on their first ever win in Race 1.
Here are your leaders. I'm in awe, I really am. But it's all about these two, the Crow brothers. It is a first TT win for Ryan and Callum Crow at home. What a brilliant result. Their whole family, the whole island will be proud of them.
But first up, action from the RL360 Superstock Race 1, a class that's been dominated in recent years by Peter Hickman, who set the fastest ever lap around the mountain course in Race 2 last year.
This man is about to break the outright lap record on a Superstock machine. It's a 136.358 mile an hour lap into the 136 for the first time, and an 11th TT win for Peter Hickman. Wow!
Yeah, Peter Hickman, very much the man to beat around here in recent years in Superstock trim, and after that victory in the Superbike race on Sunday, albeit something of a surprise, he's definitely on form going into this one. Michael Dunlop looking to make it 28, and Davey Todd in form on the Stocker as well, in search of his first ever TT win. Grace Webb is out on the grid for us.
I am stood next to bike number 1 that will be ridden by the legend that is John McGuinness. We'll just see if we could get a few thoughts from the man himself about how comfortable that Fireblade's feeling. Are you looking forward to the stock race?
Yeah, it seems like the weather's just, well, the wind just died down a bit and it's nice and bright. So yeah, hopefully we'll get this one in. Looking forward to it. Bike's been going okay. Yeah, we're in the ballpark with it. So I'm just not looking forward to that oil slick at Kurt Michael. I'm going to be number 1 guy into it. So we'll see, but yeah, just got to go steady, haven't we, and just get another race under our belt. We've been hanging around for a few days now.
Yeah, it'll be good to get one underway. Good luck for it, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's always positive, John, but he has set off as number 1 for quite a few races. And as he mentioned there, we have had news of an oil slick on the road, so he'll be the first one to check it out. Next up, number 2, we've got Jamie Coward. Now, he is also on a Honda. We can see him just putting his helmet on there. We'll see if we can just grab a quick word from Jamie himself. Are you doing all right, guys? Is it right to speak to you, Jamie? We just know you've been playing around with a few setup things during qualifying. How's the bike feeling now?
Feels a lot better now, so we've been, like I said, we've done plenty of laps on it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting going, to be fair. It's practice week's been pretty awful, to be fair, but like I said, we made a change to Superbike race and we've made progress since then, so I'm just going to go out there and enjoy myself and then see where I am at the end.
Yeah, that's brilliant to hear, Jamie. Good luck, thank you. As we move over next to number 3, Dean Harrison, another factory Honda rider. He will be definitely contending for the podium on this one. We look forward to seeing what Dean can do. There's definitely lots to look out for on this race. We'll head to the commentary box for now.
Here we go then, time to get Superstock underway. It's the last, of course, of our solo categories to take to the start line of this famous course around the Isle of Man, 37.73 miles. These machines, don't forget, are incredibly quick. The outright lap record around here held by Hickman still. Starting with the number 1, the man, the legend, John McGuinness, launches the Honda down towards Bray Hill. Rolling up to the line next, Jamie Coward. There's the tap on the shoulder. Cameron Donald. These machines are epically quick, as we know. The outright lap record ahead of the more factory-prepared Superbikes. What are the main differences for everyone at home?
Relatively standard engine and chassis, some modifications to the exhaust, rear shock absorber, even the external forks, brakes, wheels. Everything remains standard. It just shows how good these things are off the showroom floor, capable of incredibly quick lap times, as we see Michael Dunlop heading off down the line on his Honda.
He'll be looking to try and make it 28, of course, breaking the record with 27 on the Super Twin. Very different machine to the Super Twins. This is Davey Todd. Todd swapping to the BMW, and Cameron, the BMW has been the weapon of choice here as we see Hickman roll up on the similar machine for a number of years now.
Yeah, absolutely. The BMW's been very good in standard form, as we know, because that's the class where Peter Hickman set the outright course lap record. He's also taken 5 wins in this class, and he'd have to be one of the hot favourites heading into this first of 2 Super Stock TTs.
You're looking back from Dean Harrison. Oh, you hear the engine revs rise as he rolls that tyre over to its edge. Dunlop tucked in, and here's Davey Todd. So Todd looked strong earlier on this week. We saw him, of course, on the Ducati in Super Sport. He's been up there on the big bikes. Didn't get on so well yesterday on the Super Twin. He was obviously not happy. He's really hungry. We've been talking all week about him joining the Big Four, but this one, yeah, he's going to be up against Hickman, certainly, and Dunlop will be, I think, quite relaxed now he's taken that 27th win.
Yeah, well, as relaxed as Michael Dunlop gets. Whoa, look at that through Crosby. Look at the train slap. Look at the lean angle, that fairing just kissing the ground as he heads through that 6-gear left-hander.
A lot of water on the road here. Now, this was one of the areas the riders were warned about on the Matrix, which is what tells them at the start line where the wet patches are. And Glen Helen, where they've resurfaced, it's been seeping up from the middle of the road. And if you watch, we're not going to see it, this is the new bit of tarmac on the exit. But on the way in, Cam, it's quite significant, the water there.
It is, and the first time the riders will encounter it is the first time on this race lap. No time to slow down and assess the conditions. They've got to push on because these bikes are incredibly close, and we know this race is traditionally one of the closest we'll see of TT Race Week.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger for sure. Davey Todd coming through the Glen Helen section.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the times when they reach his first timing sector. Davey Todd riding this bike very successfully in British Championship.
He leads, Cameron. He leads. 1.5 up, and Hickman is a 10th down on Dunlop. Okay, there's 1.8 across the top 3. Let's not get too excited, but we said he'd be in the mix, and he's immediately on it. He has come out the blocks really quickly all week.
He has. We knew this would be close, but absolutely splitting hairs between this top bunch as they reach the first timing sector.
Todd's on it, look, you can see wrestling the bars here. So physical. How strong do you have to be?
Yeah, incredibly, these 1000cc bikes putting out over 200 real wheel horsepower in standard form. Quite incredible.
Dunlop, wow, he is lit through here.
Yeah, look at that precision, just so close to the curb. As we see, Davey Todd already made up quite a bit of ground catching
Josh Brooks.
Josh
Brooks just in front of him here. Brooks is tucked in. Won't want to lose any time. Cam, you know better than most where you can pass around here, but you've got to get on with it. You've got to be decisive. You start to get a bit nervy about whether or not they're aware you're there, and you're going to start losing a lot of time. You can't do that when you're up against these guys.
This race is only 3 laps long. There's absolutely no time to waste.
Pit stops.
Pit stop. There'll be 1 compulsory pit stop at the end of this lap. 1! As we see Davey Todd making short work of Josh Brooks there, both BMW mounted. Brooksy back up on the brakes. Is he going to over Balaf Bridge? I thought he was going to pass him back. That was incredible.
He left that late, didn't he, coming up on the outside of Todd, but Todd does hold on and he stretched his lead. Look at Balaf as the splits come up. Dunlop 2.4 behind now. So I don't think you can't call 2.4 a safe lead, no way. On board with Jamie Coward, but he is still heading in the right direction.
Yeah, he's managed to etch out just another single second, but it's still so close.
Here comes McGuinness. Now, McGuinness mentioned there was some oil on the track. In fact, that had been cleaned up, so it's oil, then they put the concrete dust down, then they sweep it. But Cam, he knows where it is. That's the point of that matrix board, but it's still not nice to be number 1 on the road. Maybe won't need to be number 1 for much longer.
No, it looks like Jamie Coward is catching him quickly. Oh, look at those speed trap times. Josh Brooks topping 198 miles per hour. Interesting, Michael Dunlop 197 second there, actually faster than the official Honda entry.
On a bike you can pretty much buy off the showroom floor, though I would have to say, don't try this at home. I mean, like, it's not as easy as these guys make it look. Here comes Dunlop. Hickman now is up into P2. So Hickman has come into P2. He's come through late on the splits at Balaf, and he's only 0.5 of a second down. So Todd versus Hickman, and he's trying, isn't he?
Absolutely. He's closed 2 seconds through that sector, and that is a technical sector as you muscle the bike on the way down from Ginger Hall through Milltown on this run down to Parliament Square and Ramsey.
Hickman pitches in, can hear the fans whistling at him.
And no matter how hard Pete Hickman is pushing, he always looks so smooth. Leaves himself a little bit of room on the edges.
That's something I wanted to talk to you about, Cam. So obviously a huge amount of power going through the rear wheel. You said already 200 wheel horsepower. This is good. Look at this. Toes almost on the road, knee right down. I'm wondering in terms of smoothness, you know, over 3 laps, they're not going to change the wheel, are they, when they come in? They'll only fuel. But, you know, it could come down to who looks after that rear tyre, and you'd have to fancy Hickman for that. But look how close it is at the top. Coming up onto the mountain then, Gooseneck, Guthrie's Mountain Mile, Mountain Box, the Veranda Bungalow. It's an incredible sector. We know Hickman is quick through here. On board now with Ian Hutchinson, another TT legend. He's been caught by Todd though. Todd blasts past him, so Todd's on it.
At the end of the mountain mile, up the inside, nice clean pass. Now on board with Jamie Coward. He's caught John McGuinness as they head up through the Veranda. We thought Jamie might have passed by now, but just shows the pace that John is on.
He's still quick, isn't he? On the left, that's Harrison. So Dean Harrison has caught on the number 3 machine. He passes Coward on the number 2, and now he's right up behind his teammate. Oh, little tank slapper on the exit there, just a tiny one, but he's winding it on quickly, and he'll try and get past. Look at this. This is short circuit racing on lap 1.
And it's a Honda freight train through the bungalow.
So McGuinness won't know there's one bike there with all the noise on board. He's going to know Harrison's there now, but he probably won't know Jamie Coward's right with him as well. Unusual to see 3 machines this close. Coward up the inside now. And that puts McGuinness down to P3 on the road as this man leads on the timesheets. Ignore the splits top left. You can see Todd was leading at Ramsey Hairpin, and when he trips the timing there, he comes to the top at the bungalow. Hickman with his knee as close as you can get it to the curb there.
Interesting comparing the style. Pete Hickman doesn't quite use the lean angle of Davey Todd, both BMW mounted.
Well, here is Hickman, winner of the last 5 Superstock encounters on that BMW, and here is Davey Todd on the similar machine through Kronkney-Mona. It really suits him, Cam, and now Hickman's got someone on the same machinery who's hungry for a win. It's going to be a good scrap.
Yeah, Pete Hickman is going to have to earn this one. Look, review camera, Davey Todd, you see that real Metzler working in what looks like ideal conditions.
Steve Plater in the pits.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Obviously, we're waiting here. Here we go. You can see in the distance the boys are coming in. There's Harris, there's Coward. Behind there, we've got another rider coming in. I think that is John McGuinness. That's a busy pit for Honda. They're all coming in. Coward straight down below us. Do you know what? There's hardly any flies on the screen. You might not see him bothering changing visors again. And here's Michael coming in now, look, on the pit lane limiter. Hillier straight behind him. The guys are waving. I can't see a visor man in there. Hardly any flies on Michael's bike again. There's Toddy straight behind, he's coming in now. Denver's there's waving, got his hand in the air just to make sure he's right. Obviously, this has to be a really, really slick. Here comes Hickey in the background, the guys are waving. This will be a typically relaxed pit stop. Oh, yeah, a little bit unstable on the brakes, but again, no visor change. They're just cleaning the screen. They'll be filling. You can see Daz is just having a word there with Hickey, and they'll be just filling him in exactly what's going on the track, and he'll know he has to push. There you go. There's number 10 going back on the road. Back to you, boys. Talk us through it.
Well, very fast pit stop for Hillier. Not quite so quick for Hickman. Todd leads. 2 laps to go.
We have a visitor in town.
She's frightening something.
It's just gonna get worse coming here.
Kumar knew something and passed it on to you.
Bay of Fires. Watch now on ITVX.
Welcome back to the Isle of Man TT 2024 RL360 Superstock Race 1 is underway. This is Davey Todd, and he leads at the moment. There is his gap, 1.7. That was on the way into the pits, and his stop was a bit better than Hickman's.
Dunlop Hillier sideways on the back wheel, 5th gear out of Balagary.
So they are pushing as well. There's 4 riders, look, back to Harrison within 7 seconds of the top step of the podium. This man, can he get on that top step for the first time ever? He's had 3 podiums, hasn't had a win. Cam, he looked so good on the Ducati in Supersport earlier on in the week. He's been good on the big bikes, as we were saying earlier on. This is the opportunity, but this man is the king of this category.
Yeah, exactly. Have a look at this camera angle. New for this race. Perfect view there of that Olin shock absorber working up and down as he crosses every bump on the road.
Into Glen Helen comes Dean Harrison. Watch the exit here for the water. And there it is, just little splashes coming up from the rear wheel. But Cam, they're in the worst possible place. They're right on the crest of the road. So the riders are aware, but you've just got to ride the exit differently.
Yeah, that damp patch has been there pretty much all week though, so the riders will be well used to it by now.
Harrison well into 3 figures, look, 145, 150 coming up. Remember, they get close to 200 miles an hour, even on these stock machines.
From the heli there, we can see James Hillier still hanging on to the back of Michael Dunlop as they work their way through Glen Helen.
Here through that exit that we saw from Harrison, let's see what Dunlop does. Stands the bike up a bit earlier, tiny bit sideways from Hillier on the exit. Next through will be Davey Todd. Here he is, so watch Todd's line here. He does exactly what he was doing yesterday on the Super Twin, Cam. Just stands the bike up a little bit earlier and to the left and manages to avoid the water. Yeah, it does so. Also, exhaust note sounds a little bit different on Davey Todd's bike. Sounds like he's running a little bit of traction control there, which of course these bikes have standard. Hickman through the left. How much do these guys run it? You know, how many of them would choose to run some or none of the electronic aids?
The systems work so well now. They help more than they hinder, but it's really rider personal preference. I do know for a fact that Peter Hickman does run virtually nothing though.
Yeah, Lee Johnston was saying the same the other day about how sometimes you want the bike to wheelie or to slide in a way which is not conducive with road riding, which of course is what these electronic systems are set up for.
Exactly right.
Dunlop still looking, of course, like he hasn't give up. He'll never give up.
No, he will push on hard. We did say heading into this race, this was probably the weakest of his classes. Not that you could ever say Michael Dunlop is weak in any class, as we're back on board with Jamie Coward, still sitting behind John McGuinness there. He's been behind John now for a good half a lap.
He needs to find a way through if he feels he's got extra pace. Just a little head shake there from Harrison in that super fast left-hander. We see Hickman come through there in a similar fashion. Watch this, look at the commitment over that tiny bump in the crest of the road.
Michael Dunlop now starting to put a little bit of a gap in over Jamie Coward. Oh, as they just lay black lines on their way into Kirkmichael.
Using so much road there out towards the black and white curbs. Here's your on board from Coward again, looking at McGuinness. This time looks to the outside. Just went slightly too early, had to roll out of it and then loses the momentum. You want that slipstream, it's so hard.
It is, it's not easy to pass the master.
There's extra respect though as well, Cam, isn't there? It's not like short circuit. When you're making a pass, you're not only aware of your own safety, they really genuinely are aware of the other rider's safety when they're making that.
You must be. Well, there's the answer to our question. 4.7 seconds is the combined gap now between the pit stop and the run to Glen Helen.
Coward pulls out of the slipstream now for John McGuinness, and look, he hasn't got the legs, so the Honda has still got enough power to hold McGuinness up there, 183 miles an hour. That's Connor Cummins. And now back to Dean Harrison.
Oh, I love this view. It just shows how physical the riders must be. Literally never sitting still for more than a second around the entire lap.
And barely any time to blink either. The speed through here is just insane, isn't it? Late, roll it off. Lean in and back on. All the bus stop on the outside as well. Anywhere you can sneak a bit of extra track, find that bit of extra lap time.
Now through Parliament Square for the second time.
Short shifted there on the exit. Is that kill wheel spin?
Yeah, you do. It's first gear down in that, one of the slowest parts of the track. You really do have to take it easy when you open the tap in first, drop it straight in a second, power up towards Mayhill.
Oh, Dunlop, even more of the bus stop. That is about the track limit there. Wow.
Foot off, MotoGP-esque on his way into Parliament Square under brakes.
Brilliant. Behind him is James Hillier still, and now we're back to Hickman.
Have a look at this camera angle, Andrew. Notice how Pete Hickman, it's just the tip of his toes on the foot pegs, using that as leverage, feet right back up high on the pegs.
On board with Coward, that's at the Ramsey hairpin.
Oh,
Oh,
John's looked
inside.
back.
Yeah, looked back and let him through on the inside line there, so he knew he was there. We never see the onboard through there, do we? It actually looks more open from the onboard than it does from the trackside camera.
Yeah, it does. I think John might have let Jamie pass there.
Now with Hutchie, 5 times winner in 1 week. Still the record, isn't it, is Ian Hutchinson's?
Absolutely. And just fantastic to see him back out there again.
Couldn't agree more. And remember, that was when there were only 6 solo races in a week. Could we see someone do 5 this week?
Andrew, the gap is down from 4.7 down to 2.4 at Ramsey hairpin.
So Hickman then has had notice that the gap's gone up and he's trying to make it go back down the other way. I'm sure Todd is going to get told that pretty quickly as well. Got a fight on our hands here. Harrison is not out of the running either. And neither is Dunlop, we know. But at the minute, Hickman and Todd in position at the top of your leaderboard. There they are. Look, Dunlop's, okay, Harrison is now 4.8 off Dunlop and Dunlop 4.6 off. So you can't count them out yet, but this is looking like Todd versus Hickman.
Yeah, we've got 2 BMWs out front. We've got 4 Hondas having their own battle behind them.
Up into the bungalow comes Jamie Coward, behind him John McGuinness.
Riding on board the rear-facing camera now, John McGuinness as he heads up Harwood Heights. See the pit board there on the side of the course, Andrew? Just letting John know where he is in race position.
That's what I always wish. I want to see the pit boards. You know, I'd love to know. We occasionally catch a glimpse. We're lucky. We often get Dunlops at the exit of Cregney Bar. We often get Pete Hickman's at the end of the Solby Straight. But I want to know what they say. You know, is there a word they put when it's super close? They often don't even know what rider they're in a battle with. And sometimes I think it would help you to know, like Hickman, he's up against Todd, who hasn't won. So, you know, it's psychologically, do you then think, I can take this? But they don't get the names.
No, they don't. It's too much information to process. You've got to keep it short, sharp and simple.
Hickman blasting up the mountain. He's done some damage to the lead. It's 2.1, so it's getting close. He's nibbled another few tenths away. So Hickman is closing down on Davey Todd as we come towards the end of lap 2. Is he going to nick it from him? Todd will be desperate to hold on and say he's going to get a board at some point, which is going to tell him the gap's been halved. You've got to push.
Oh, not many can hold Peter Hickman's pace over the mountain, so for Davey Todd to only lose a couple of tenths shows how well he's going.
Certainly does. Here comes Ian Hutchinson again. Riding the Malenko by Paget's machine. Little short shift, same as we saw from John McGuinness when we were on board just a few moments ago. Yeah, coming towards the end of this second lap. Remember, no pit stops this time round. Let's see who's going to terrify our man in the pit lane. Down to you, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm getting quite nervous. Here we go. Here's the Hondas coming into sight. Dean Harrison first. Here we go. Dean's usually nice and polite. He doesn't come too close. I'm just looking back up there. The helicopter's up and over. Do you know what? It's quite windy and blustery down here. I think we've got McGuinness coming next. Again, the Hondas. Yep, here we go. Coward first. I'm speechless. I need to have a word with Coward. And John, here we go. Here's my MD. He gets closer every flipping lap. Right, where's the leaders? We're looking up the road. Here we go. Who we got now? Here we go. It's just past Hilliers. Tommy, get in there, my son. Let's see how Hickey's coming. Obviously, he's come over the mountain. He usually makes time up there. Toddy's doing a great job, and obviously it's not just a war between those two on the road, between Toddy and obviously Hickey on the same bikes. Dunlop and Metzler, they're having a good ding-dong. Here we go. Here's the main man, here with number 10. That's it, the gentleman. Flipping heck, I'll tell you what, it'll be a big last lap, that is for sure.
Well, the split just popped up at the top of your screen, and Todd has responded. He's taken another couple of tenths back. Can he hold on for his first ever TT win? We are in the closing stages of the RL 360 Superstock race here. Davey Todd, who you ride on board with, is leading.
Oh, look at the veins in his neck. You can see the tension there as he's muscling that Milwaukee BMW around.
Just the amount of effort, like you were saying earlier, Cam, they never get to rest, and especially not through here, through Glen Helen. Up the exit, he goes on that tight line, completely avoids the wet this time. He stays inside the white line and then runs just past the grass bank. This is coming into Glen Helen. Hickman, his rival, for the lead. The gap was 2.5. Hickman runs over the water, out towards the RST barriers on the outside.
Oh, you can see Peter Hickman starting to use a little more road. He's really pushing on, and another 2/10 taken out of that lead from Davey Todd. Both those riders BMW mounted. Pete Hickman's running Dunlops. Davey Todd's on the Metzler. Could that come on to play in this last lap when they'll certainly be asking everything of those rear tyres?
They've got different riding styles too, and we've spoken a number of times about Hickman being very smooth. Todd may be a little more aggressive. It's only 3 laps, Cam, but is it going to come down to who's got more left in that rear tyre?
Who could pick it between these two? We've got Davey Todd. He's leading the British Superstock Championship. He knows his bike inside out. Pete Hickman has won 14 TTs. He's been in this position on the last lap before.
It's psychological, isn't it, for Todd? He knows he's coming and trying to hold on to one as he goes to the bottom of a Barrow. You can see the bike kicking away through there. The commitment is unreal. And, you know, can he hold on? Can he mentally just make sure he doesn't crack under the pressure? And is Hickman thinking, you know what, I'll have a crack at him?
At the end of the day, I think this one's going to come down to who wants it more.
We know Todd was super hungry earlier in the week. Hickman's had that one win, but I don't think he was that satisfied, was he, with his superbike win? A win's a win, and as he said on the day, you know, you've got to be at the finish line to win it. But everybody likes a win more when they really have to fight for it, and he's going to have to this time.
Michael Dunlop right up behind John McGuinness coming through Rencullen. Narrow part of the course, not an easy section to follow a rider, but if you're going to follow anyone, might as well be John McGuinness.
Oh, Dunlop with a big wheelie over the crest, back onto the throttle again now. Here is Todd. 2.3 the gap, it could not be closer, could it? Knee out, sits up, use that wind resistance to slow the bike just that bit later. Every single inch of the road on the exit, Hickman knows as well.
Both these riders absolutely pushing to the limit, but careful they don't overstep the mark and cost themselves any time either. Oh, look at that camera angle. What drops a gear as he heads into Rencullen. Oh, up over Rencullen jump.
Smaller wheelie than
and
Dunlop.
Then shifts up again.
Lovely. Fantastic camera angle. That really is with Hickman. Brilliant to see that detail. Balaf Bridge, so this is going to give us our next split, and we'll see how they're getting on. Todd comes over and trips the timing. He leads, we know that, but it's about how far back Hickman is. It was 2.3. Todd responded at the end of the last lap, and he'll be hoping that he can keep it up there. The revs rise high for Hickman, snicks it down the box. Here he comes now, going to come up over Balaf, and let's have a look and see whereabouts he is. Gets back on the throttle immediately, clicking through the box again. What's the gap? What is the gap to Todd? It's 0.5! It's 0.5! Hickman's absolutely destroyed him in that last sector.
We saw Pete Hickman take time out of him in that same sector earlier in the race, but he is obviously so strong there. Maybe Davey Todd's cost himself a little bit of time too, but all we know is that with less than half a lap to go, there's just 0.5 of a second in it.
Dunlop down into Parliament Square. That's Todd. Todd could catch these 3 riders. Cam, if he catches these 3 riders up over the mountain, there's only 0.5 in it. If any traffic at all at this point, he could lose this TT, and that's based on the fact, of course, Hickman is already eating into his lead. So Todd has got to push hard, he's got to pass. People are applauding him in the background, and this man is chasing him.
We know how good Pete Hickman is over the mountain. This is what happens with your start numbers. It can work for you, it can work against you. You just never know how the cards are going to fall.
Oh, if you're looking into the distance, when here comes Todd, stands the bike up, gets over to the right-hand side, opens the throttle hard through that little right-hander. Hickman coming to one of his favourite parts of the course. Oh, listen to that, little bit of wheel spin.
Pete heading up to Ramsey hairpin. Let's get the split. 1.1 is another half a second. Great. It's just over 1 second between these two as Pete Hickman heads up through his favourite section of the course.
Todd then took half a second back, but now he's onto the back of this train of traffic. John McGuinness is first. Todd can't find a way through here. Listen to the RPM up high. If he's going to do it, he's got to be committed. He's got to get on with it. He cannot be held up. Hickman at the minute has got clear road in front of him.
John McGuinness is certainly not slow, but he wouldn't be travelling at the pace of Davey Todd. Davey needs to push through as soon as he can. Will he be able to get past him before the bungalow?
Had a look up the inside again. This is just the first of 3 bikes. I'm sure that Peter Hickman will, and he does, passes on the right. Hickman will find somebody before the finish, but 3 is a lot to ask. One of them's Michael Dunlop. We know how quick Dunlop is. This is a nightmare. He's catching guys who are really fast. You want to catch people that are slower and easy to pass.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be cruel if these riders ahead cost him the race, but as I said, it is part of the TT.
Todd is tucked in and pushing as hard as he can. We don't know where his pit boards are. We don't know if he even knows what the situation is. As you see Hillier coming through, and Hickman has now caught Hillier. So now Hickman's in traffic as well, with just the 1 bike to pass.
Oh, but he must get past as we head up Harwood Heights here. This won't be easy. Again, James Hillier is absolutely flying. Can he make... He's not going to be close enough to pass him. If he can't get through before Brandywell, he may have to wait to Windy Corner to get another opportunity.
So he has a look now over to the left, almost alongside on the left-hand side, now to the right, and Cam, yeah, there isn't any way through, is there here?
The Dukes bends as you head down the hill here. The road is just so narrow, it's such a single line, even if the rider ahead of you isn't holding the same pace.
Hillier on board. Is he going to be surprised here by Hickman? Where is Hickman on the right? Hickman gets through on the inside line. So now he's cleared the 1 bike between him and being able to push to the absolute max. Where is Davey Todd? And how is he getting on with his traffic? You're on board with him now.
Cregny Barr, just 3 short miles between this man and potentially his first TT victory. He stood on the 2nd step, he stood on the 3rd step, but will he take the top step in this first Superstock TT of 2024?
Enormous pressure for him, and still a couple of bikes to pass. He blasts past the first of them. That is Coward dispatched. On board with Coward now. You're looking forward to Todd. How far up the road is he from having to make his next pass there? You can see the target being reeled in as he runs down towards Hilbury. Hickman, remember, has clear road behind him. 170 miles an hour on the approach to Hilbury. One of my favourite places to watch course side if you ever get here. 3 corners, Cronkney Mona, 3 apexes through here, and then he's going to be into Signpost. Cam, he's got 1 more pass to make. He could get held up down here at the hairpin potentially by Dunlop.
If Davey Todd doesn't have enough on his mind already, another rider ahead of him, but Michael Dunlop is not slow through this section. Hopefully, he won't cost him any time.
If he does, it might cost him the win. This is going to be an absolute nail-biter all the way to the line. You're on board with Todd as he takes that heavy braking zone, slots off to the right. Now the left-hander up, and now we're breaking down towards the hairpin. Here it is, stand it up, you sit yourself up, get the bike turned in. Round to the right-hand side, where's Dunlop? He's not past him yet. He's in behind him.
I think I can hear it. You
yes.
can hear Michael Dunlop's Honda, and you can see Jamie Coward just behind him. All 3 riders so close as they come out on the Glen Clutchery Road for the last time.
So down over the line, Dunlop, tucked in right behind him is Davey Todd. There's nothing more he can do. He crosses the line. Now we have to wait for Hickman to come through. It's been an incredible performance by Todd, but has Hickman stolen something at the very end of this? Listen to his commitment on the throttle as he comes back onto Glen Clutchery Road. Hard on the gas, tucked in behind the fairing. This for a win on the TT. Is it going to be 15 for Hickman, or is it going to be a first one for Davey Todd? Over the line. It's Todd. Todd takes it by 2.2. His first ever TT victory is in an epic battle against Peter Hickman. Davey Todd at the top of the leaderboard. Hickman gets P2 and Michael Dunlop in 3rd. What a race.
Davey Todd, a TT winner. How does that feel?
The feeling's incredible, honestly. I just said I'm really struggling for words right now. It literally feels like a dream. I got to give it up to the Milwaukee BMW guys. They've had the faith in me this year and give me a fantastic bike to ride. I've been loving the Superstock bike all season long. It's probably the one I feel most at home on. It's why I've basically made my Superbike very similar to the Stocker. I love the BMW. It's such a good bike, and to get that first one's it's really special. And to do it in that way, battling with Hickey and Michael and all the boys, it's it's really special, honestly.
Great for him, you know, fantastic for him. So congratulations, first TT win. I know what that feeling's all about, so he'll be super relieved. It's taken him a few years to do it, about the same as me. I think 5 years. I think that's the same as what it took me to win my first one. So yeah, congratulations to him. And it was a tight race. We've learned some bits from it. We'll come out a bit stronger in the next one.
I think we just struggled a wee bit for power, to be honest with you, but to be the first Honda in here, which is great, but we seem to have them boys up the pace, and we made a big change for the race, and he done a good job, done a good job, but still not able to push for these boys just yet. So hopefully we can try and make another job for the next run and see what happens.
Absolutely brilliant scenes. Davey Todd breaking his duck here at the TT and breaking Peter Hickman's domination of the Superstock class. There's been a changing of the guard in the sidecars as well this year, with Ryan and Callum Crowe taking their first ever win in race 1. Find out if they could make it a double after the break.
In this night, and in this hour, I call upon the ancient power. Bring your powers to we sisters 3, 2, 1.
Revisit the saga. All episodes of Charmed, available now on ITVX.
Welcome back to the Isle of Man TT, where the second race for the sidecars was actually red flagged early on after a crash for Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement at Waterworks. Thankfully, both of them emerged unscathed, but the outfit didn't. They were unable to make the restart, as were Pete Founds and Jevon Walmsley, podium finishers in race 1. They suffered an engine blowout in that initial start. So all of those guys absent from the grid for the restarted race, which we can enjoy now in the company of Cam and Coley.
Here we go then, sidecar race 2. On the line, the #1 outfit of Ben Birchall and Kevin Rousseau. This is the first time that Birchall has started a TT without his brother Tom on board.
Yeah, this pairing were looking strong in qualifying before a mishap. A crash in qualifying set them back, so they missed TT sidecar race 1. This is their first start together.
Absolutely amazing amount of support from the paddock, from the island, to get this outfit back. It's a bit of a miracle they're starting it, really. Now, when they weren't there, of course, the Crows, Ryan Crowe and Callum Crowe, who you see go off the line now, managed to take their first ever TT victory, and they were very fast. They didn't just win it because Birchall wasn't there, but they'll be keen to have a scrap with him.
I think now they've had the taste of victory, they'll want that feeling even more.
That is Dave Molyneux, the legend, with Jake Roberts, who I think is the youngest contender in sidecar, isn't he?
20 years young.
That is young to be riding on board. And Molyneux is 60, isn't he? So that is a massive age gap between them. And great to see Molyneux, the legend, still competing.
Lewis Blackstock, Patrick Rosny. They had a strong 4th place finish in sidecar race 1. I'm sure they'll be out to match or improve that now.
Oh, Birchall, look, pushing. Rousseau with confidence in the legend who's won 14 times around here. Tom Birchall decided, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, and Ben was, oh, well, I'll carry on, and they found a new passenger, and it's a big, big commitment. Ryan Crowe and Callum Crowe challenging them, and it's 4.7 to the advantage of the Crows, so the winners of race 1 take the early advantage here at Glen Helen.
Wow, they're just seconds off outright lap record pace from a standing start. Those young lads are on it.
Dave Molyneux and Jake Roberts on board, sitting in P3. Of course, with some of the missing outfits, that's going to blow the field a little bit wide open. As you see John Holden and Frank Clays there in the #6 outfit over that wet exit to Glen Helen.
John Holden, previous TT winner, hugely experienced pilot around the TT course. Oh, look at that heli shot. You can see the aero shape, the design, quite different on Molly's outfit.
Here come the Crows, flat out at Kirkmichael.
And that's an early retirement for outfit 22, Michael Russell and Vicky Cook.
You're on lap 2, and those are your leaders in the background. The Crow brothers finally catching up with Birchall and Rousseau.
Oh, that would be spurring them on. They've got them in their sights now.
I think Birchall, while he's used to winning, Cam, I think this is such valuable time for him and Rousseau.
After the setback earlier in qualifying week, I think they'd both be thrilled just to be back out on course racing.
Here are your winners from race 1. Are they going to be double winners here in race 2? What a weekend for them at home. What a weekend for this man. He's had a rough week as well.
He has. With all respect to Jake Roberts, he doesn't tuck in on that outfit quite as much as those more experienced passengers on the outfits ahead of them.
Up at the bungalow, this is the Crows, and they have managed to pass Birchall and Rousseau, so the Crows are in the lead. That means they're 20 seconds up the road from Birchall and Rousseau.
Blackstock and Rosny crossing the bumps as they head into Mayhill.
Here are Molyneux and Roberts making their way up the mountain. This would be an incredible result for Molyneux, wouldn't it? 60 years old. I think he's been competing here since 1985.
Yeah, quite incredible. Last time that Molly was on the podium was back in 2017, so it's been a while between drinks.
And when was his last win?
Last win back in 2014 with our very own, well, commentary team contender Patrick Farrance.
Fantastic stuff. Will Molly make it to that finish in that position? We ride on board from Cregny Bar down the long straight here, fully tucked in. This is a man who knows how to win. They won earlier on in the week.
Oh, have a look at Callum Crow's head there, just buried into that sidecar bodywork as it bounces all over the road as they head down through Brandish, keeping so low, just streamlining through the air.
Outrageous line through that left-hander, cutting over the white line, even over the grass.
Oh, Molly doing the same. Look at that sidecar wheel. Oh, the course knowledge of these drivers, and to be able to judge exactly where that sidecar wheel is to the centimetre.
Incredible stuff, and incredible stuff as well from these two. Ryan Crow and Callum Crow came here with high hopes of taking a victory. They did that earlier on this week, and this is going to make it the perfect week. It's going to be win number 2, but they're also looking like they're going to hit the 120-mile-an-hour lap mark, and that is a very exclusive club to join. It is. He's celebrating already down to the line. Callum Crow and Ryan Crow celebrate the second win, and they're in the 120 club. Brilliant stuff for the Manx men.
Birchall and Rousseau taking an amazing second place in their TT debut partnership. Molly records his 31st podium with young Jake Roberts.
Would you say TT24 has been pretty successful?
It's been successful and over successful. You know, we come in here with a new package, new totally bike, new bodywork, new everything, and you know, hats off to this man. Last night it was just watching onboards and onboards and onboards. You know, I think this podium means more than the first one, just because there's that number 1 bike in there, and it was just a head-to-head race. It was phenomenal.
2 TT wins and that 120-mile-an-hour mark as well. What a year to remember.
That's all right, and I was a bit glad they didn't get me shield with the 120 on then, but hey, 120-mile-an-hour lap, 2 TT wins. With your brother, you can't complain of that, can you?
What a week it's been, you know, and Kevin's second ever TT and he's on the podium, so he's just done an amazing job, and we had a difficult week. We brought it home, and I'm really pleased with the result, and it's great to be on the podium. Thanks to everyone that's helped us get here, because without Manx people, the steam packet, the paintwork guys, the sticker guys, and my boys worked night and day to get us on this grid, so thank you so much to everyone.
One of the most difficult fortnights I've had at the TT, and I've done it since 1985. Lots of issues. Bike was a mare to start with. Powerful, but we had issues here, there and everywhere. But thanks to everybody involved.
Fantastic scenes on the sidecar podium in a week when we've celebrated the most successful riders in the history of the TT in both the solo and the sidecar classes. But today is a day to remember for the stars of the future. We'll see you tomorrow night for more action at TT 2024.